Do you guys remember this? And this was, I'm not going too far back. This is Washington, D.C., when Bibi came in from Israel to give a speech. Y'all remember this? Do you remember this? Now, this is at our Capitol. These are people at the Capitol doing this. This lady went outside of an abortion clinic and protested. Now, if you recall, all these funded, paid protesters, which, by the way, all of them look white to me, nonetheless. We want to talk about racism. Everybody want to be like, you know, the Joe Biden administration is racist. Trump is racist. I mean, everybody want to be like, Trump is racist. You want to see some good old-fashioned racism? You want to play the race card? I'm about to play the race card. Why is all these white folk right here that's in line with the Democratic Party, why ain't none of them getting arrested? And then we come over here, and this black woman get arrested. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Biden-Harris DOJ, therefore the Harris DOJ, because if she gets elected, she ain't going to change nobody. The Harris Department of Justice is racist. It's anti-Christian. It's anti-Jewish. So that means it's racist, it's anti-Christian, and it's, what do they call it? Anti-Semitic. Is what it is. Because they let these people go. All these people. They let them go. Remember, all over college campuses, they were rioting, going crazy. They weren't arresting people. They were letting them go. So you have a racist, anti-Christian, anti-black, anti-Jewish administration, or anti-Semitic administration. And they check off all the boxes that the left is supposed to be upset about. Somebody will say, well, this is only one person. Oh, okay, so, well, how many people need to be lynched in order for people to feel like lynching was a bad thing? How many women have to be murdered in order for you to say that murder is a bad thing? For example, we have 4 women who were murdered by the Biden-Harris administration when the borders were left open, and that's just the 4 whose names came up and rose to the top. But how many murders are necessary? How many rapes are necessary before you lay at the feet of these people the truth of what they've done? It's amazing. So when I look at the Kamala Harris rally, the same rally that I showed you guys videos of, where the guy said Jesus Christ is Lord and King, and she said, you're at the wrong rally, you need to go to the one up the street. When you put it all in context, and you, from a larger perspective, you see it. All the evidence is there. So you got Jewish people voting for anti-Semitic administration. You got black people voting for racist anti-black administration. You have Christians voting for an anti-Christ administration. And then anybody who calls it out is crazy and is a liar and is a fraud. But the truth is what it is.
I mean, Robert, come on. They're going after a pro-life activist, yet, you know, you have criminals running around in New York City that get out on bail. What's going on?
Oh, look, I'm a criminal defense lawyer by trade.
I knew it. That's why I went to you first.
Yeah, I will always find a way for someone not to go to jail. That's what I'm good at.
Right.
But I think in this situation, this is part of the caustic nature of our media culture that tells people that the way to fight these things out is in front of the abortion clinic and not at the ballot box. We have to help people.
So this is somebody else's fault. This is not the fault of the Department of Justice, is what this Negro's saying.
People to understand that the way that you change laws in this country is by voting, by making sure you're putting in officials who believe in your political agenda and who will fight for that political agenda.
Voting doesn't work when they steal elections, but let's keep on going. You know, here's the problem I have. In a normal society, that would be the way. But this is not normal. There's nothing about this that's normal. Even when you look at the polling data, right? They keep on talking about how Trump had such a what's her name? Hillary Clinton's lead in her election with Donald Trump. How it doesn't translate to the election between Trump and Biden, and how the Trump-Biden election doesn't translate over to the Harris-Trump polling numbers. None of the polling numbers make any sense because the polls have been jammed with they're fake, and then the electoral numbers don't matter or don't make sense because there were so many fraudulent votes. So when you look at his numbers versus Clinton, which is before they really tried to pull off the craziest steal on the planet, it made sense how he beat Clinton, right? Then when you look at Joe, they're sitting there saying, well, you know, he had this percent against Hillary and won. He's got a higher percent against Joe and he lost. Don't make no damn sense. The percentages don't change. For example, if 100% of the population votes in one year and then 100% of the population votes the next year, and let's say you had a small increase in people who went from age 17 to 18 or 18 to 19, whatever the voting age is, that percentage is not going to increase to the point to where it skews the polls. What skewed the polls and what skewed the data was all the fake ballots that went in. And so now we're turning around and coming towards this complete and utter sweep of the electoral college and probably a popular vote that Donald Trump will get against Kamala. And they can't even talk about the numbers because the numbers are so skewed and fraudulent. Anyway, back to this. So what we find here is we find anti-Christ, anti-black, anti-Semitic Department of Justice, and this man is trying to justify it. It's a great spin that, you know, he spins it back to personal responsibility. But the truth of the matter is, when we compare what they do, for example, the riots in Atlanta, where everybody got out on cash bail, the pallets of bricks that we all saw on the side of the road during Black Lives Matter, where Kamala Harris was actually bailing out leftist protesters. And people tend to forget about this. This person that's running for president was bailing out protesters that had completely ravaged areas of California, burnt down buildings. She was bailing them out. So when I say that there's a double standard, an articulated double standard, we have all the ample evidence to show that there's a double standard. I mean, there's no way around it. Complete and total double standard.
Come on, we have the First Amendment, and that law in and of itself, the FACE Act, completely extreme.
If that's extreme, if let people and change it, don't abscond from it.
Let me just say, this is the great irony, which is if you're a grandmother who was at the Capitol on J6, you could go to prison for years.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the old little ladies who was invited into the Capitol. That alone was insane. I'm talking about 80-year-old ladies that they said, hey, come on in the Capitol, come on in. And then they put them in prison for years. I completely forgot about that. I mean, the hypocrisy is glaring. I mean, it's frankly, it's like a spitting cobra made of hypocrisy, constantly spitting in your face and slithering around you in circles and just spitting all over your body. That's how crazy it is.
You're a mom, a young African-American mom in New York City where they kill more young babies in abortion than allowed to live who are black. And you're so morally outraged by that, you simply want to go protest that, which I did as a young man. I was arrested at one of these clinics. But if you can go to jail for 4 years for that, but someone in BLM can destroy. I watched it one night here right by the White House. The president had to be removed into the bunker. They were standing and destroying the Portland courthouse. They killed a cop, all those things. DOJ dropped all the prosecutions against almost every single one of those people. Yeah. Kamala Harris led the charge. There's a double standard now in America. If you're for a left-wing cause, they say it's a proper grievance. If it's for a more traditional cause, you're going to go to prison. And our democracy...
No, you see, you're not telling the truth. If it's for a satanic cause, it's okay. If it's for a conservative Christian godlike cause, you're going to prison. And that's the problem where the news pundits get it wrong. And this is why they never defeat their enemy in an argument. They never present God in context of politics. Because people know that separation between church and state. No. If you present the truth, I mean, at the hardcore truth of the matter is, it's Satanism versus kingdom, or it's good versus evil. Anytime they're out there doing pure on evil, they get excused from that evil. And when you see someone who tries to do the right thing, let's say there was a lady at the Capitol doing the protest for Kavanaugh when they were doing the Supreme Court nomination of Kavanaugh, and they had the altar of Baal out there. You guys, if you go look it up, that's what they brought out there, the altar of Baal in front of the Capitol. I mean, in front of the building when they were doing this. And this little old lady, decided to go around the side of a building and kneel down and pray. Do you know they arrested that woman? Now, she was completely out of sight of their protest, completely away from them, nowhere near them, bothering them, out of sight. And someone not only knew that she was back there praying, someone decided to come around and arrest her. So ask yourself this question. And really ask yourself this question. If this is not spiritual in its essence, why arrest a little old lady who's praying? And then ask yourself, let's chunk up to about 100,000 feet. There's cameras all over DC, cameras all over everywhere. Now we know that she was behind the building. You can look up the story. I mean, it was all over the news. She was away from, out of sight of the people who were doing whatever ritual they were doing, because that's what they were doing. That's why you bring an altar in to do a ritual. She was out of sight of them. So who saw her? Was it somebody on camera that saw her and said, hey, there's a little lady back there on her knees praying, and she's praying to Jesus. Send somebody around there to arrest her? Or was it the spirit itself that they erected the altar to, that they were showing that they were doing a ritual, that said, hey, there's somebody praying against me, go around there and get them arrested? And then on a higher level, does it even matter? And what I mean by does it even matter, what I mean is this. If it was a camera that caught her, if it was the spirit that told on her, the truth of the matter is the woman shouldn't have been arrested. The simple fact that she could be arrested for protesting in silent prayer lets you know that Christian persecution is out of hand in America. And so here's what people are going to find out. All these black folks is going to church, and black men and women who go to church, and liberal white men and women who go to church, and they go to church on Sundays, and they're like, oh, I don't like this person because they said something mean. They expect the president to be a pope or a bishop. We don't need a pope or a bishop for president. We need a strong man for a president. But see, this standard that you hold, this standard that you, actually it's a standard that you completely ignore. This double standard that you're ignoring is going to be the one that comes back to bite you in your hiney. Because there's going to be a point in time where you decide you want to pray. And it goes from arresting a little lady behind a building to coming into your church and arresting you. It's all DW tripping. Okay. And see, when it gets to the point to where they come into your church and arrest you and they shut your churches down, which they already did during COVID, remember? They were arresting pastors for having church. When it gets to the point to where they shut your churches down and you try to go pray, or you want to go to church, and your pastor says, well, we open the church back up because the Lord told me to, and you come in and they arrest all of you, remember that you brought this on yourself. You brought it on yourself by ignoring every sign shown to you. It's like walking in the dark, right, on a roadway, and every 5 feet there's a flashing sign that says alligators ahead. And you walk past the next sign, and it flashes, says bears known to roam this roadway at night. And then you walk past another sign that says king cobras crossing the road. And then when you get a little bit further up and you get bit by the alligator, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know there was no alligators. And then you get a little bit further up and a bear mauls you. You're like, oh man, they had a bear. And then you get a little further up and the king cobra launches in the air and bites you on your neck and you die. You sitting there saying, Lord, why are these king cobras and these bears and all this stuff attacking me? Why you let this happen? You a damn fool. All the signs are there, man. Every sign is there.
You talk about trying to defend democracy. You can't defend that.
Tyler, come on. The FACE Act, this has gone way too far in many of these cities and going after these first-time offenders.
An interesting point about the FACE Act is that it protects both abortion centers, not really clinics, because what health do they really provide? But it protects abortion centers, and it also protects pro-life pregnancy centers. Yet we've seen the DOJ, the Biden-Harris DOJ, under Kristen Clark, who, by the way, lied in her Senate confirmation testimony about her own domestic.
The crazy thing is, this couple is black. Like this black couple right here. This ain't like a Harvard, Princeton, Yale type black. This black. This hood black couple right here. This Houston black couple right here. This Southside black couple right here. This a New Orleans East black couple right here. This a Bankhead black couple right here. You see what I'm saying?
Violence against her.
Culturally black
husband
is what I'm trying to say. Unlike Kamala, who's not cultural. Unlike Barack or Kamala, who's neither one of them are culturally black. They got a little shade to their skin. This is a culturally black couple. You can see it by the way they dress. So look, Louis Vuitton belts. Look at the shoes. Look at the shades. All right, let me go back. Louis V, all black. Culturally black couple. And to my white brothers and sisters, my Jewish brothers and sisters, and my what I would call my Latino brothers and sisters, you might be DW. What you talking about? Culturally black? No. There's black culture. So these the culturally black people that's gonna be at the barbecues with you. They're in a little social clubs with the other people. Culturally black. They're not separated apart from the community. Like you can say that somebody say, well, DW, you're not culturally black. I mean, because I don't be rolling with the people I used to roll with, but I can step with any of them at any point in time I want to. But this couple right here, yeah, culturally black. You would call them people who had the black experience, went to a HBCU, did all the things that would make you culturally black. Didn't go to no damn super duper expensive private school. No. Public school. Culturally black.
Separate story. Kristen Clark has been going heavy-handed against these pro-life protesters, many of whom have young children, some of whom, there's a 94-year-old lady who got convicted and thrown into prison who was protesting abortion because she grew up in witnessing a genocide, and she said abortion is a modern-day genocide.
Well, I hope Donald Trump definitely pardons these individuals if they have this federal
when there are
crime.
400 attacks on crisis pregnancy centers that are not being justiced. If you apply the FACE Act, you apply it evenly. Why is it all against pro-life protests?
I'll tell you why it's all against pro-life protests. I'll tell you, and again, why is it all against people who believe in the Lord? Why is it all against Christians? Why is it all against Jews? Why is it all against them? It's the real question that should be asked. Nobody wants to, they don't want to lay it out like it is. Because they're scared to shake the mountain itself. No, it's anti-Christian, anti-Semitic. Everything that the left says everybody else is, their actions show that they do those things. I'm sorry, it just is what it is, bro.